I am live for Elizabeth Craft Designs. How's everybody doing? In the craft room, ready to go. It's a hot, hot, sunny day here in South Carolina, so it's nice to be indoors crafting. Hope everybody's doing well today. Happy Monday. And it's a new week, so we have a winner. We're going to get right to it because I have a lot to do today. I want to share some really fun cards with you. And I'm going to wait till I see one person saying howdy. And I want to check to make sure. I don't think I can refresh on this screen. I'm not sure. Oh, there we are. Okay, we are here. Okay, hello, hello. Hello, Chris. Hello, Rebecca. Hello, Melody and Joe. Tatalala. I love that. Hey, Petra. Hello, everybody. Oh, here's all kinds of people flying in now. There's Sylvia, Raylene, Sendra's here, Gwen, Cheryl, Catherine, Kelly, Raylene. Wow, Anya, Ellie. Okay, I don't want to waste a lot of time because I'm the one that always goes over, right? And did I see Kim Gowdy go flying by? Hey, Kim. Saskia, Donna, hello, 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 Lois, Nuns is here. Naomi, Rebecca. Okay. All right. Hey, everybody. Glad that you could join me today. And Hillary is here. Nice to see you. Okay, well, I have a winner. Is this backwards? Did you guys read it properly? Here's our winner from last week for commenting, liking, and sharing. Congratulations to Miriam Jensen. So all you have to do starting this week to next Monday is like, comment, and share for an entry to, hey, Barbara. Hey, Cindy, for an entry, a chance to win the $50 gift certificate. So congrats to Miriam. I think I saw her yesterday. She's at a zoo having a great time and eating sushi, and maybe she's on a little holiday. I don't know. I don't see her here yet. So congrats to her. All right, we're going to get right to it and switch the camera to my desk. So, yeah, hey, Femke. I love this dual streaming because I can see everybody. It's great. But it is a lot of comments all at once. Yeah, congrats to Miriam. Very good. Petri, Tove. Excellent. Oh, listen, I just said it was sunny and now I hear it raining. Okay. Well, congrats to Miriam. We're going to make two very fun cards today. And I'm calling them show-through cards because you can kind of see through them. So we could say see-through, show-through. But this fun one that looks like a little fence, I happened to see on Pinterest. Now, I didn't go to the post to find out how to do it. I just kind of made up my own way. So if you've done this before, and I think Cindy said that she has, maybe you've done it a different way. So it'll be interesting to see. And then this one is another show through. I'm going to make these just slightly different than the samples, just so I have two slightly different cards. But this one is a fun one as well. So a little bit of see-through action just to be a little different with our card making. And so we're going to start with this one right here. And I just wanted to share with you, I don't know if any of you do this or not, especially if you don't have a tutorial. I make sort of a, hey, Belinda, thank you. Hey, Deborah. I make a little bit of a prototype, like a dummy, as they say, of the card, and I practice, and I get the sizes, and I get it all figured out, and then I go to the real paper, because I don't want to waste my lovely paper, right? So I did that with both of these, and I discovered something very interesting when we get to this one. So it was really good that I did that little practice. All right, so to make this one, we're going to use colorful collective paper. Thank you, Astrid. A lot of prototypes in the box, Naomi. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, it's just smart, especially if you're watching your pennies and you don't want to waste a bunch of lovely paper, right? Just get it all planned out. Okay, so this is kind of a fun one, and here's how I'm going to do it. You know how we have this paper in the colorful collective. It looks kind of like wood and it's yellow. And we have these big, thick spaces, let's say, between the wood planks. So when you're cutting the strips to make your little fence card, I avoided the big, heavy gaps when I cut them out. And so what I mean is, you know, I cut strips like this. So there's no big, thick, you know, dark gaps there. Congrats. Oh gosh, I'm getting messages from Restream. Isn't that nice? Hey, Karen, good morning. Hey, Linda. Okay, so what you need to do if you want to make it just like I made it is you have to cut 10 of these guys. And these are 3/4 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. So this is an A2 card, 4 1/4 by 5.5. So I cut 10 of them. And then I like to round the top of my little fences, just the tops. So I'm just using a really small radius corner rounder and just get on in there. Oops. It's got a little something something in there. So if you didn't have a corner rounder, you could make a little curved cut with your scissors and make yourself a template. And because my thingy is a little jammed up right now, I'm just going to do that very thing. I'm going to just trace the one I had before. And so those are rounded and we're all set. Then I ink the edges, of course, because I do. A ton of white paper strips that I can ink color to use. Well, that's a great idea too. There's some fun ways to make your own wood grain looking paper. I've done that with, you know, streaking of inks and use a special kind of flared brush to kind of fake it. Okay, so you'll need 10 of those, and then on the back of each of them, I put some adhesive. And I don't have the Elizabeth Craft Designs double-sided tape that's wide. And I didn't want to use a bunch of skinny strips, so I just went to the, you know, adhesive sheets. And I cut strips that were just a little bit under the 3/4 inches wide and just under the 5.5 tall. So that's what this is. And then before I stuck it on the back of the paper, I just kind of snipped away the corners because they kind of wanted to hang out otherwise. So I'm going to stick this on the back of here. I've done it to all of these already. Yeah, don't forget to like, comment, and share. Hey, Chris. Nice to have everybody here today on a Monday. I had a very nice weekend. I hope you did too. Father's Day weekend. Just hanging out with Paul. So I'm just going to get that on the back. And I put these, like I said, on the back of all of the strips. Okay, so all of them are prepped and ready to go. There they are. And then I have 4 of these little guys. And these guys measure 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch. And you need 4 of those. You're going to put 2 on the front and 2 on the inside, 5 on the front, 5 on the inside. Okay, so that part's done. Now to prep the card the way I'm thinking of doing it, this is how I'm going to do it, is just have yourself an A2 card. And I'm going to open it out and I'm going to get a ruler and a pencil. I don't really need a pencil, but if you want to pre-mark it, you can pre-mark it with a pencil if you don't feel comfortable. But what we're going to do from the top down, I'm going to travel 1 1/4 inches. So I'm just getting all squared up and I'm going to cut from here to the fold. I'm going to skip another 1/2 inch. Do it again. Okay. And then from the bottom, I'm going to flip it around because it's a little easier for me to do it this way. I'm going to come up 1 inch. Take your time to get nice and squared up. Yeah, I wonder if you can hear that rain. It is pouring outside. And then you go another 1/2 inch. Okay, and what we're going to leave are those two skinny strips. That's all that's going to hold our front of our card together. Now, I've seen people do this with acetate, but I didn't want to deal with acetate and glue showing through on acetate and all that stuff. So that's why I came up with this way. So now what I'm doing is I'm holding the ruler right at the fold, and I'm going to cut away that top part, that middle part, and the bottom part. Careful, get it all the way. Okay, I can save these for stamping or die cutting little things later if I want. So this is what you have, believe it or not. This is how I'm going to do it. And before I get too far, I'm going to see if I can get this corner rounder to work here, because I want to put, I want to cinch off the top of my card so it matches my little wood slats. So just the top, I rounded off, you know, the small one. And it worked. I don't know why it didn't work before. Belinda, weekend was hot. No AC. Oh no, it always happens in the summer. Birthday card. I think this will be perfect with the hummingbird. Yes, Melody, that's a great idea. Okay, so now, before we go too much further with the tricky stuff, I'm going to go ahead and put the inside of my card in here. And now that I've rounded that corner, I'll just do that again here. This is from this sheet in the Colorful Collective. I already inked it with a little bit of brown, and we're just going to get this down inside. Debbie, she found us. Well, we were right here, weren't we? Okay. Little crooked. That's what happens when you're live, right? Fabulous, very hot weekend with friends in Paris. Oh, cool, Naomi. Very nice. Okay, there's that. And then we can put our inside part on if we want to. In fact, I would do this early because of other reasons later. So this is just one of those cut aparts from Colorful Collective, where you can write your message inside your card. And because the slats are pretty close together, these wood slats, you will not see your writing or much of this inside at all. You must be getting the heavy rain you had yesterday. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's really pouring out there. Okay, so here's the front of our card, right? I have a piece of release sheet somewhere, right here. So I'm going to lay that in here. You could use anything, nonstick craft sheet, something like that. But I'm going to put that there so that I don't stick, you know, all this adhesive to the inside of my card. Thanks, Terry. She loves Colorful Collective. Thank you very much. All right, so what I would recommend that I'm noticing right now is that you maybe turn or cut. Yeah, let's cut it, because I'm not going to be able to see the top or the bottom of my card if it's this long. So I'm going to make a little snip. Get under there. Little snip right about there. And then cut some of that away, because I can't see. There we go. Lovely. Okay, so now I'm going to have to take this down in front of me a little bit so I get nice and straight. But we are going to take this and line it up with the left edge of the card and the top and the bottom, best we can, straight as we can, and stick that down, okay? And then I'm going to take another one and I'm going to do it at this other end, which I should have cut my little release sheet a little bit shorter, but let's see. I can see it kind of peeking out right here. The trick is, you know, getting it straight, but we'll just do our best here. Okay, there's that. Lovely. It's kind of straight. I'm sure you could square it up with a ruler and take all kinds of time to do that. Hey, Ellen. I remember you, Ellen. Ellen, have I got the right person? You came to One Paper Place. Is that right? And you were a seamstress, kind of. I mean, that's not what your job was, but you had these lovely bags and things. I think that was you, I believe. All right, so I'm putting about 1/8 of an inch of a gap between these. Hey, Vicky. Hey, Klaska. Klaska. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so you can use the ones that still have the tape on the back sort of as spacers. And believe me, I am not being 100% crazy perfect about this at all. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you like, let's see, what did Ellen say? Yes, I was there, retired now. Oh, good for you. Congrats. Congrats. Let's see. You got a little bit of wiggle room to get that on there. Okay, so there's our little fence front. And then you want to go ahead and take these little guys and put them across. And wouldn't it be fun, before we go putting them all on the back side, to put those teeny tiny little nail looking brads, the ones that look like teeny tiny little screws, on all these joints? I think that'd be really cute. In fact, I think that's what I saw on the one on Pinterest. That'd be really cute. Okay, so there's 1 and 2. Now this was tape because I have tape that's just that right size for a 1/2 inch strip. Okay, this is where that little T-square ruler would be great, I think. Gosh, I got a whole bunch showing right there. Oh well. Okay, so now we can peel this off. And we can stick the other ones on. And I don't see any other way to do it. I mean, if you didn't put adhesive on the whole back and you just put it here, now you're at the mercy of whatever the color of the paper is on the back side of this paper. And I want it all to be the wood, so that's why I'm doing a double. And then also this makes the front of this card super strong. Really beefy, not floppy. I think I never made a card like this, said Belinda. Well, what do you know? Hey, that's wonderful. Thanks, Terry. Yeah, that's wonderful to hear and surprising, Belinda, because I feel like you just absolutely have tried it all. You know so many tricks and techniques. Audrey, yay, I caught you live for the first time. Well, welcome. I'm glad you're here. We're building a fence. So this is actually very easy, very fun. Kind of therapeutic, you know. So since a lot of people are here now, the brads would be a perfect touch. And I've got brads, Cindy. Yeah, try it. Just put them on before you put on maybe the back side here, I think, so you don't see all those prongs. Otherwise, I think that would look really cool. You could always put just little circles. You could draw little circles like little nail heads. Okay, there's that. And then, yeah, for some reason, I have a little bit of my cream color showing, so I think I cut it a little bit wider than my strips. So if you do it, just take extra care. Make sure you measure twice, cut once. Let's have patience. There's Els. Hey, Els. What are y'all doing today? In beautiful Banff. Any plans? Okay, fence is done. That wasn't hard at all. But like I said, take your time. You know, I'm doing it live and I'm going kind of quick, but there's our little fence. And there's absolutely no glue, no sticky, no nothing to worry about. And it's super cute, right? All right, so now let's just decorate the front and have some fun with that. I've got all kinds of things, some blasts from the past here. Twiggy things, remember this one? This was a die from, gosh, first release? I can't even remember now. But I've cut two, so this one's in craft and this one's in a very dark brown. And I always like to do this, make like a little drop shadow, gives it a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to quickly put some dots here and there and everywhere because we're going to put stuff over the top of this. I'm not worried about getting every square inch of this covered with glue. It's going to hold, it's going to stay, it'll be great. So just tap, tap, tap real quick because this is art glitter glue and it'll dry kind of fast. Just enough to get the job done here. I'm going to grab that release sheet so I don't gunk up my table. And I just kind of glue it up, and to the left, just a tiny bit. And you can see by the actual card, you know, it almost looks like a shadow. It just gives it a little more dimension than if you just put one color there. So I will put my block on that and set that aside for a moment, and then we can do some coloring of our little fern here. Do you guys remember this fern? This one's from the layered butterfly. Has the bees, the butterflies, the different layers, but this wonderful fern is in that set. And it's one of my favorites. Twiggy die set 2, Anya, yay! Okay. You can make the fence with ice sticks. Oh, like popsicle sticks? That's a good idea too. Yes. That would be fun. Okay, so I have got my fern, and I've also got the little bow that goes to the top of our wreath. And instead of doing blue this time, I'm going to do pink on my bow, and I've got a couple of shades of green over here. Twisted Citron to start. I always like to go a little light and then go a little darker instead of one flat color all over everything. I always kind of, you know, splotch it up a little because that's just what I prefer. Some people like it real solid, but this gives it more of a natural look about it, I think. Thank you, Audrey. Oh, Jane, the mushrooms on the front. Oh my gosh, yes. Oh, that would make a great like fall card, I think. Yes, the mushrooms for sure. Well, now I'll have to make another one. I wished I'd have thought of that, but you know, it's summer. All right, so this is mowed lawn. I'm just gonna tap, tap, tap a little bit of this. And just depending on how bright you want it is how light or heavy you want to go. It's totally up to you. This is really, really deep, so I'm going to add a third shade because I like that. So see how splotchy? I don't do it real solid. I do it splotchy. So the next green would be Rustic Wilderness. Nice dark green. I need the gift card so I can get new mouse bundle. Oh yeah, today, you guys, do you know? Today's the day to go to Facebook. I believe I saw this on Facebook this morning, and you leave a comment. You do something, follow the steps, and then you can get entered to win that entire new release that's coming out of Yosette's. That will be live on Wednesday. And I'm sure that's what Els and Yosette are doing, probably getting ready for that. So I think it's just today. Today's the deadline. Maybe it was going on all weekend. I don't know, but I saw that this morning when I woke up. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. It's a little brighter than the one before, but I'm digging it. And you can see I cut it apart, which is what we're going to do as well. in a moment. But we can work on some other things. Let's color this. Saltwater taffy looks like a nice pink. Kind of matches some other stuff in the flowers and whatnot. It's a really pretty pink. And this is just regular distress, but you could use oxides, of course. Good, Cindy, you entered this morning. Yeah, Brenda, it really is super cute. And I've been kind of holding off on the mice and the little bunny and stuff because, you know, I've got a lot going on. But it's making it so much harder for me. Every time I look at something somebody's made with those mice, I'm like, oh my gosh. And now these new accessories. Love it. So cute. Okay, so I'm just adding just a tiny bit of red in the middle of my bow just to give it some dimension. All right, what else can we color? I know we have a bird over here. That over. And I've got it kind of started, my little birdie. So, of course, the teeny tiny little bird is from my Birds and Dwellings. So I've got the body, I've got the wing, and then I've got these teeny little bits already colored on that mint tape, ready to go. And I got smart and I folded the corners in on this one. So I have a place to pick it up. I kept touching it before in the Sunny Days class and kept picking it up, and it's driving me nuts. So I figured I'll make a little catch, little grabby point there. So I have a whole bunch of little flowers in here, shaped. The centers are in there. I've colored them with alcohol markers. I actually colored them before I die cut them. So that's what that looks like. Those are alcohol markers. And these flowers are in the Birds and Dwellings as well. And I put the little white centers back in, and then I cupped them a little bit, and I might do a little bit of that for you just to show you in a minute. But let's finish coloring our little bird here. Cheers set to make my Father's Day card, and hubby really liked it. Oh, Chris, that's wonderful. I love that. Yeah, Belinda, the mice would look great on this card too. I feel like this fence is going to be coming back. You guys are going to be using it with all kinds of stuff, which I love. I love that. Okay, well, I got some markers over here to color my bird. I think he'll be a little blue. I'm going to make it similar to this one. And we'll just start with the easy stuff and color his feet a really dark brown. And these are my Olo markers, alcohol markers. You could use any kind. Doesn't have to be alcohol. They're just quick and easy to blend. I did the brown already, so let's skip that. And then this is like a yellow-orange 2.5. I'm going to do his little body. Just quick, really quick. I'm not a master marker person. That's why I like alcohol markers, because you can go fast and you don't have to be an expert. This is orange 2.5. So we're going to put that around the bottom here. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to go back to this one. Kind of blend that out a little bit. Get a little bit of a fade. And then the wing, I made the wing blue over there. Maybe we could do that again. I don't know any birds that look like this. I'm just making this up. That's the beauty of it though, right? And then I've got this little bit darker blue to do the same. You have all the Olo markers now. Great, they are great markers. Yeah, it's a bit of an investment. I've been building mine up, and now I believe I have them all. And honestly, they've come out with a few since I bought mine. More browns, which they really needed. So that's great. Okay, we got the wing, we got the bird, we got the pieces. We can put them together. A little bit of microsurgery coming up. So I've got my jewel picker for the really tiny bits, and I've got my fine pointed tweezers, my favorite tool on the planet, Elizabeth Craft Designs, of course. All right, so let's build our little birdie. And I'll put the wing on first, just way over here. You can look at the packaging if you have trouble like knowing how the pieces go on. That's what I always do. Paper bird can be any color we want. That's right, Carlene. I'm glad you're here. Hello. Yeah, it's just like the flowers. They can be whatever you want them to be. We don't have to be exact. And I love that. Okay, so this is the little face, which I colored like a really light tan kind of color. And I colored this little funny piece with that same blue marker. And this is like a puzzle piece. It fits right in there. If you get that one piece down first, this just slides right into place where it's supposed to go. Okay. And then I've got the teeny little beak. So I'm going to pull it off the tape for now. I've learned that that's better to get it off of there first before you try to get it up quickly with glue, you know, drying while you're waiting. I want the mice accessory so bad, says Lori. Unfortunately, I have to wait. Oh, but Lori, if you go and, you know, comment or whatever you need to do to enter to possibly win, maybe that's your, that'll be your lucky day. Okay, so that's where my jewel picker will come in handy right here, is picking up these really small pieces and putting them on. You could definitely do it with your tweezers, but I just find it a little bit easier. And so I'll put the eye right there, teeny drop of glue. Okay, and if you want to later, you can come in with a little white marker and put a little shine spot on his eye. But we'll sit him over there to dry a little bit, let the glue set. And I've got this little layered tag situation. So this is from the Tag Variety Pack. It's one of those layered tags, so there's two parts to it, of course. So I have cut one from dark brown, but I also cut another one from Craft. Now I didn't do that on this card. I just popped this right on here. And you can see I changed to pink because my bow is going to be pink on my new card. But I stamped it in brown archival and then I colored it with pink. And this is just ivory cardstock. And just to kind of maybe make it look a little different and to look a little more like the wreath does, I'm going to layer these two together. But I want this one to be a little smaller than this one. So here's what I like to do. Actually, let's glue this right to it first. I feel like that's going to help. Yes, so tiny bits. Yes, Renee. Tiny bits. Okay, we'll put this in the middle of this one. And I think I've done this before just to kind of show that you can make this into a double matted tag. I don't have the mice, but I have the bunny. Well, the bunny is super cute. And I guess all those accessories fit the bunnies too, right? Because you guys are mixing and matching bunny parts and mouse parts, as I've seen. So all I'm doing is I'm going inside. There's these little dots, like stitches almost, but they're dots. And then there's also a very faint line on mine from the die. So I'm just kind of following that faint line and cutting this out a little bit close. Okay. And then ink the edge, of course. I lose the little pieces. Yeah, that's why I like that mint tape. Because if you can't get to them, you know, right away and you need to set them aside, I am going to lose them. So the mint tape is slightly tacky. It's not super sticky. And it's a good holding place. So this is kind of pretty, right? Just to kind of have another mat to it. Just a little something you can do. And this is the same craft, same dark brown as we did with the twiggy wreath, heart wreath. Nice trimming. Well, don't look too close, Karen. Yes, the mouse things work with the bunnies. Yes, thank you, Melody. I thought so, of course. Okay, so there's that. Little different, makes it stand out a little bit more, I think. Okay, so now we can start to put things on the front and cruise along here so we can get to that second card. So obviously we don't need to put a ton of glue all over this thing because there are going to be gaps. So I'm just kind of looking definitely down the center. We want some glue. And over here. Again, we're going to put other stuff on here, so it's not super critical to get a ton of glue on here. So I'm going to put it just about where I had it before, right up here. Okay, and if you're worried, you can stick your release sheet under there. Thank you, Missy. Thank you so much. The 3-layer sign looks great. Thank you, Barbara. You like that? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. All right, we can put our bow next. This one is going to touch the wreath completely, so you can put plenty of glue, at least up at this upper part, if you feel the need. So, yep, we'll go up a little high and give that a press with my block. Okay, and then I know my little fern is slightly too big, so I'm going to give this a little bit of a trim here. And there's these perfect little spots that you can go in and snip so that you can get 3 different pieces. And there's that one little place right there. In fact, I might take that completely. There we go. I don't know where that piece just went flying. Okay, so now we have 3 pieces. And we could take care of this right here too. Let's take this off. Okay. And we can put this here. Yep. I think right there. We want to overlap where we can because that's always really pretty. So let's put this one down first. I think maybe the trickiest part to this is knowing like where to put the glue. So you have to just kind of keep checking it. And don't put too much because, you know, your glue is going to dry clear, hopefully. So even if you go into the gaps there, you won't see that from the other side. No biggie. Okay. Right about there for that one. And then we'll put this one over here. You can make it go wherever you want, really. Very cute card. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. Will you list the material, stamps, and dies in the replay, please? Sure. I have not been looking up constantly, but have we been putting up the links to the materials? I know that you guys like lists, so I'll try to remember that. I do have to have a little bit to eat, and then I'll get to that, but yeah. Okay, there's our fern. And I think I want to do the same and pop this guy up with a little foam tape. Now the foam tape I'm using is black, so you definitely don't want to see that from the other side. So I'm going to put it on the card roughly where I think it should go. Even if I used white, I would want to do this. So This will go right about here, maybe, or here, or here. There we go. Cute. And our little birdie, you could pop him up too, but I'm going to just glue him into place. And he's pretty much able to have glue everywhere. You guys, if you make a fence card, you definitely have to put it in the group, put it in the family page, or tag me or something. Okay, 20 minutes. I want to get to the other one because this is now just popping on a whole bunch of flowers, these teeny tiny little flowers. But I will just show you real quick. I'm not going to take the time to pop them all on there right now, but if you've never ever done this before, these are die cut from the Birds and Dwellings. They've been colored first. I put the centers in and they're cupped. So if you've never done that before, you would just take your flat little flower. I'm trying to find one I haven't flattened. Okay, this one. And like a ball stylus, this one's pretty good size. It's not huge because this is a teeny little flower. And just give it a little push and stir. That's all. And then I'm going to use some super thick tacky glue and my tweezers and just start popping it all over the front of my card. So that's easy, right? So that's card number 1. How's everybody doing? Thank you, Heather. Thank you. I'm now knitting a granddaughter's cardigan. Oh, how nice. How beautiful. Love that. Okay, so we'll put that one aside. We'll see if we have time. We may come back to it. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so this was the one that I learned when I made the prototype. I learned something very interesting. And let me find the prototype again. Okay, so remember these, the fancy cutaways? They fit inside perfectly. Well, I'll say not perfectly. Inside the new picture frames and mats, the largest frame, I thought perfectly. So this is if you cut one and then you cut the frame and you put them together. Well, it looks all right. I mean, you can see where it doesn't quite work. So to improve upon that, I thought maybe there's a better way. So what happened was I die cut this guy from Colorful Collective. Okay, and this is the part that falls out of the middle. So instead of using another piece of this paper to die cut this thingy, use this. And then it goes right back in the place it needs to be. So let's do that real quick. And the great thing about that also is if you pop this back in, the pattern is continuous. So when you put that back in, the pattern is continuous. It's all lined up. And here's an example of it. I got a little sticky note on the back of that one. But, I mean, you see a little bit of the seam there, but when you get it on the card, you start to decorate it. It looks like just one unit. And I put some tape on the back to join the two. So let's do it again so you understand what I'm saying. Take a quick drink. Wash hands, wash hands. Are my hands dirty? My hands are okay. Okay, so let's do it. So you've done this, you have this left over, and you have your die. Got my little Empress Mini over here. Just gotta pull it over. And the main thing is when you put this in here, it's just a little bit shorter this way, and it fits almost perfectly this way. So just kind of center it best you can. And if you die cut with yours upside down, do it that way, but I just do it like that. All right. Thanks, Cheryl. Thank you, Jody. That came out so nice. Wash hands, wash hands. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay, let's get a little pokey tool and get all this stuff out of here. There was something else that I discovered as I was making it and I thought was kind of fun, a little fun addition that I'll show you guys. There's a little stubborn spot right there. I'll have to push out and give it a little help with my scissors, it looks like. Okay. Let's do the craft knife instead of scissors, just in case. I'm a little gun shy right now of knives. I was making dinner Saturday, Friday, and I was watching a very intriguing show on my iPad next to right where I was chopping food, and I made the mistake of looking at the screen, and I just went oof with the knife. And it's not too bad. I'm okay, but it's a flap. That's all I'll say. It's yeah. It was scary because I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. I thought I took off the whole tip of my finger, but I didn't get all the way through it. So, okay, so that fits right back in there nicely. So for this card, again, to make it strong, I'm going to do one on the front and one on the back. So let's first prep the card, and that's why I have two of these things, one for the front, one for the back. So let's prep this card because it's very unique in that it has like, it's almost like floating, right? This is part of the card, this is part of the card, but there's nothing in the middle. So let's get our card. And this is a little bit smaller than the A2 size. So this time the card is 4 instead of 4 1/4. It's 4 inches by the 5 1/2 because this comes out just under 4 inches wide for this to work. Okay, so this is, we mark at 1 1/2 inches off the top and the bottom. So again, with the ruler and the blade. So 1 1/2 inches off the top. Take your time. I tried so hard not to put my head underneath that camera. So 1 1/2 inches from that top fold. Did you see me move? Okay, and then we want 1 1/2 inches down here that we want to keep. So 1 1/2. Yeah, hold that ruler nice and tight. I let go at the last second and it went a little crooked. But I think it's not too bad. Okay, so now we have to join these, but first, this is the inside of my card. I went ahead and got that in there, and that's all that's going to go on the inside of this one, because we see through this one a little bit more that we don't want to have like a bunch of writing or stuff there. So when I sign this card, I might write happy birthday up here, and I might write my message down here. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so we have this top flap, and the first thing I want to do is put a piece of stamped paper. To me, drink responsibly means do not spill it, don't spill it, which I love. So that's going to come right onto that flap with 1/8 of an inch of the card, the white, off-white, showing. And there's a reason why I did that. I'll show you in a bit. Yeah, everybody. Yeah, Donna, it was kind of painful. I'm surprised it didn't hurt more than it did. It was scary, you know, like if you've ever done something like that, you say to yourself, uh-oh. Like, uh-oh, did I just take off my whole tip of my finger? Okay, so that's what I mean about 1/8 of an inch showing. So this piece of paper measures just under that 1.5 inches. So 1 3/8, which I know you guys love, right? And then you've got this one that you are going to do the same thing to on the bottom piece. So we'll get that on next. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it kind of healing a little bit more and getting reattached because it's kind of just hanging there. It's a flap. Not to gross anybody out. Okay. And this is just a teeny tiny touch wider. So I'm just going to whack that off. You may have noticed that I inked the edges of my original with brown, but this one I used a yellow, like scattered straw kind of color, just to be different. Thank you, Melanie. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. It's already looking better than it did, that's for sure. Okay, so we have our top and our bottom here. And this is our outside piece all put together and ready to go. So because I have tape there, I can get it down just by peeling this up. And I think that I will do a little something here so I don't peel everything up all at once. I'm going to push, I was going to cut it, but I'm going to push that off to the side. I'll show you what I'm doing. Peel this one back and push it off to the side a little bit. And then we'll peel this completely up. And this is where I really have to get right over top of this. So put my block here so it holds it nice and flat. And I just want to make sure I'm going to overlap plenty. It's pretty much almost the whole, top part of that frame, but I just folded back these two, see? All right, so it has to be kind of eyeball centered between left and right. And that looks pretty good. Stick that one down. And then the bottom one. Okay. You have to kind of have a bunch of fingers to do this. A bunch of hands. Okay. I think that's good. Whoops, sorry. Okay, now if we, you could do one layer, but look at how flimsy it is. That's why I did 2 layers. So this is how it looks like on the inside. So let's dress up the inside. On my first one, I did not do any paper in here, top and bottom. I don't think that looks great, so we're going to do some. And I used this. And these measure the full 1.5 by the 4 because there's no need to have that 1/8 of an inch extra. Okay. I inked these with like a rusty hinge, orangey color, I think. Some orange or spiced marmalade instead of brown, just to be different. Okay, this one will go down here. You just want to make sure you stay above that fold. You don't want to get down in there. Okay, lovely. Sorry, what frames am I using? I am using my picture frames and mats. And then this is from the Fancy Cutaways, which is a little bit older. But the frame itself is the picture frames and mats, and that's the largest of the scallop, or kind of the pinked edge. They call that pinked edge, like pinking shears. Okay, so this is a part where I said I did something a little fun before I glued them together. See the little dots that have color, some of them in there? So I grabbed some paper, just some border strips from the Colorful Collective. And I measured how big the holes need to be, and I happen to have a hole punch. I think it's like 3/8 of an inch. And I made sure that they were all from the same paper on the other side. You don't have to, but I just wanted them to be the same from the inside view. So I have a couple of blue ones here. I've got some yellow ones here and some orange ones. I'm just going to do a few, just kind of scattered about. And we're going to sandwich them in between just for something different and fun. The products Annette is using is linked below the video. Yay, thank you very much. We appreciate that. Okay, so I'm looking at my sample and I'm going to put a circle here. So just a little bit of glue You definitely don't want to do, glue on the circle because you're going to see it. We're just going to fill it in there. And we'll put a blue one maybe over here. Okay, and then a yellow one somewhere else. Down here, maybe. They all look yellow to you, but that's because I'm putting them on face down. But let's take a peek. So there's the blue one, yellow, orange. Okay, so you can do that here and there. Want to make sure I get them spaced out differently from each other. Maybe an orange one here. This is definitely a step that you can skip, but it does add a little bit more stability to the card. Of course, we're going to sandwich over the top of this as well, but so this is a blue one. Let's do another blue one down here. How are we doing on time? Oh, 4 minutes. I just can't do it, kids. I just can't get it done. Okay, let's see. What do we got? We need one more yellow, maybe over here. Yeah, right there. Okay, this is where we can pull this up now. And we're going to put this into place on this one, but we're going to flip it over to this side so everything lines up. So I'm going to turn this around so I can see it better. And we do want to put glue all over this thing, but let's decide how it's going to fit and work first, just to make sure we're ready when we flip it around. So I'm going to flip to the right. Colorful circles are cute. Thank you, Cindy. Hey, Cindy. I didn't know you're here. Nice to see you, sister. Sister from another mister, that is, as they say. Okay, I'm going to hit those bigger solid circles. I'm not going to try to go around every circle, but definitely the outside edge here. Okay, flip to the right, stick this down, try to line it up best you can. And even if you see a little of this one from the front, it's the same paper. That's the mistake I made on the first one over there, is I used a different colored paper, and where it kind of was not lined up, you could see it like an orange color. Okay, this is the same. We want to make sure this is going to line up. That looks pretty good. So glue all over this one too. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. Go over. Oh, I'm going over. That's for sure. Okay, so I feel like that looks a lot better on the inside than this original one, just white like that. And see, also you can see where I didn't line up, you can see like orange. So using the same color paper, I think that's the solution there. Okay, so all I have left to do is really decorate the front. So if you've got the technique, and this is the reason why I left 1/8 of an inch here, is because we see 1/8 of an inch of the ivory over here as well. So it's kind of like a border. But I am going to just go ahead and decorate this one and make some drinks if you want to stick around. Otherwise, you've got the technique down and you're ready to roll. So I've got my cheers cut out in the black for the frame, and then for the letters, I did pink with that same, I think I used that, what's the color of that pink? Saltwater taffy. I just kind of colored, I just kind of, what's the word? Smeared, smeared the color on a piece of paper and then die cut that out. Now, don't throw that away. You can save that for another card. But I'm going to pop it back into the black. And so here's all those little inner bits to the letters. And this will go right in the middle. Thanks, Karen. Thanks, Vicki. Thanks, Teresa. Hey. Thank you very much, you guys. Thank you. Yeah, if you have to go, go. I got it. I think that isn't the coffee and craft only a half an hour? They're never going to ask me to do that. I can't do it. I just have a hard time making it simple. Okay, cheers in the middle. Of course, cheers and these little cocktail glasses are from the Cheers to You set. Thanks, Sandra. Thanks, Cheryl. I appreciate you guys hanging in there. So there we go. Thanks, Ellie. I'm glad you like it. So what I'll do is I will do the drinks, show you how to make those drinks, but I'll kind of finish up here and I'll take a picture once I get them both done because they are a little bit different than the ones in the teaser photo, just a little different. So I'll post that so you guys can see them all finished. Thanks, Terry. Yeah, little bonus time now, right? I wonder how many people do this. Do you put the glue in here instead of fiddling with these little bits? That can be done too, but I tend to put too much glue sometimes when I do it that way. And I'm going to use my little jewel picker for that. Okay, now this is the 2 E's and the R. If you want to put them back in, I like to do that. You just have to remember to save them when you're doing your die cutting out of the black. See, I should have taken these off of this tape first. Okay, E and R. Okay, cute. Cute, cute. Okay, don't want to lose my straw. It's important. Okay, cocktails. Where's my cocktails? Oh, right here, right in front of me. Okay, I already colored my umbrella, I already colored my straw, started to color one of my little glasses. Just very, very, very light with a pale blue, which in my case was tumbled glass. And a little dauber. So just very, very pale swirl around the outside edge just to give it some dimension and kind of look like glass. You know, we're not out to make it literally look like a glass, but light blue seems to be the right color for this, I think. Okay, so there's that. And then we can color our little drink here with some yellow. You could use alcohol markers, but I'm going to blend some distress. So this is mustard seed. I think I'm going to use paper instead of that, or the sheet. Mustard seed is a nice bright yellow. And I'll do the yellow. This is the inside of the drink. And then a little bit of twisted citron for the green part. I don't know what kind of drink this is. Maybe a mojito? You guys tell me. I don't know. Okay, so this would just go right in there. I would do a little more blue here at the top. Okay. Drops of glue on the back of my hand and dip the small bits in it. Oh, on the back of your hand. I've seen somebody do that before. Has Alice done that before? That's a good idea too. Yeah. That'll be a good idea when I'm popping all those flowers on that first card, I think. All right, there's that drink. And this one will be a pink drink of some sort. So we'll go back to that saltwater taffy. I do think that oxides are the better choice. I'm using Distress right now, and it's not as creamy. It can be done if you're careful. I'm going really fast. But just kind of take your time and blend up darker to lighter from the bottom. And that can be that one. And we'll put the umbrella in this one, and we'll put the straw on the other one. Okay, little umbrella. I just used some zig markers for the umbrella. Color it different colors. Okay, put that aside for a second. Put our little straw here. Okay, put that over there. Then we got our teeny little lime. I think I'll use mowed lawn for that. A little darker on the outside edge. Those of you that were with me for the Sunny Days class, we did a lot of lemon and lime coloring. Struggle with blending distress. Yeah, and it definitely depends on the paper as well, Femke. I do find that soft finish white is definitely a little more forgiving and easier to work with. This is not. So it's a little different. So I'll do a little of that twisted citron in the center. Yeah, I got that hard line right there. That's okay. Because now we're going to put our little segment piece on top of that. Maybe we can camouflage that a little bit. Can you use oxides? Funny, you just answered my question. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Yeah, and if I did it again, I'd probably use oxides. Okay, we can pop this on the card, and this card is done. So, now this one, I definitely would not do foam tape anywhere because you're going to see every bit of it. So, And I think I chucked my release sheet in the garbage, which I didn't want to do. Put that under there. Okay, our little lime. And this guy. I like this umbrella better than my first card. Okay, so I just have to let that dry and, you know, not stick to the inside of my card. So I'm going to leave that release sheet in there. But that's how that one looks. Kind of cute, right? A little different. Okay, let me grab the other one. I'm going to finish this up after I get something to eat. But here's the other one that we had shown you. And if you stuck with me all the way, thank you very much. I'm going to turn this around. Thank you very much for sticking around the whole time. Thank you, Chris. Thank you so much. And I will see you next time. And don't forget, Wednesday is Els and I'm sure Yosette sharing the new Good Times release. I cannot wait. I'm going to be there. So I'll see you guys there. Take care and thanks again.